Hi everyone, welcome back to Global Molecule. My name is Ramsey Jordan and today we're talking about why I decided to make this channel. Addiction, trauma and awakening guidance. When you see how it works, when you see how evolving and awakening works, you really want everyone to know about it. It's life-changing. It's hell on earth, it's painful, it's never-ending, but it's life-changing. It's a constant transformation. And I've seen so far, I've seen as far as I've been, and I've been sharing information organically one-to-one for years now, and I believe it's time to share online. I'm well versed, I'm well practiced, and I'm well aware of what is needed to face our pain, to own our reality, our perspectives, our belief systems, and so on. And have the strength to transform them. Identity crises, ego deaths, shifts in perspective, and building new belief systems, new paradigms. Typical situations are when people have issues with their parents or with their loved ones, partners, siblings. I'm here telling you today that when you do your work, when you transform, all your relationships transform. Everything changes around you. You won't make someone who's emotionally unavailable suddenly emotionally available, but you'll stop milking them for the wrong things. You'll stop asking for what can't be given from the wrong source. This is how you're creating your nightmare. Your unresolved issues coming through, your emotional needs coming through, and projecting them onto someone that's unable to meet that need, and they've always been unable to meet that need. You as a child were not able to accept this. You kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and this can result in rage, anger, depression, sadness, a negative worldview, a negative view of that particular person. You're old enough now to see that if you're pushing on a door that doesn't open, doesn't mean that person doesn't love you. It just means they cannot meet that need. They cannot be the person you want them to be. And that's where your shift in perspective comes in. I will use my family as many examples in this channel because my awakening happened with my whole family. My father is not emotionally available. I cannot sit down with him and discuss emotional stories, feelings, or needs. But I can discuss a whole load of other things with him where he completely activates and becomes totally switched on. More three-dimensional stuff, more logistical stuff, more political stuff, financial stuff. Logistical, did I say that already? He loves taking me to the airport and sadly when it's needed to the hospital too, he completely activates. But when it comes to other things, he's not available. And as I grew, as I evolved, I learned to see what I can ask of him and what I can't ask of him. It hurts, the reality of that childhood dream, but that was always the idea of who you wanted that person to be. When my awakening, internal awakening, started in earnest, it was January 2017. My brother was there beside me to help me own my pain that I was projecting all over the place, especially at my father, but also at my ex-girlfriend, my brother, my mother, and my father. These were the four main triggers of the beginning of this stage of the awakening. It was literally one after the other. It would come either from my mother, my father, my ex, who was online at the time we weren't living together, or my brother. It started off, I won't tell the whole story, but my father triggered me, and after 13 years of traveling, performing, sex, stage, beach fires, barbecues, travel, festivals, party, all of it, I genuinely thought I was healed. Genuinely. I'd done the Thai massage courses, I'd done a little bit Vipassana. I felt so good inside. I felt I'd done it. There's nothing more to do. I genuinely believed this. And I see it in people all around me now. Until the time came to come home. It was a series of events that led to my engine of my van blowing up, all my money being invested in the van to fix it, and then suddenly being broke at home without a penny or a way out. And basically months later, when I researched what the hell's going on, that's what everyone said. You will find yourself at home without a penny in the bank. For the first time in ages, you're home, facing all the things that no longer serve you, everything that's holding you back, all your unresolved issues and stories. If you're lucky enough, you'll have enough energy to have a small walk a day. And it's literally like that. You are knocked out. So why am I making this channel? It's because it's hell on earth. And without support, I honestly believe people would commit suicide, could increase their addictions, could suffer more, could label themselves as chronically depressed and go and seek out medications that are totally robbing them of the experience of awakening. I want to help people to recognize signs of awakening, and they're literally every single day. A clear example is every time someone annoys you. That's an awakening moment. And instead of pointing your finger at them and screaming at them, you hold the trigger, you lie down, however you like. You don't have to be all hippy-dippy about it, but it's nice to put your hand on your heart and on your belly and allow that trigger to be. That's going to be one of the hardest things you'll ever do, because all of your automatic responses and behavior is based on not feeling. And you've been training that since you were a kid, since no one explained to you how to feel. Now, the first step in awakening is recognizing you need you. Something happens, you see yourself getting caught up in an argument. Who's right instead of what's right? Two egos are triggered, two self-preservation mechanisms are activated. Nobody's learning anything. You're repeating old programs. That's the bit. Aha. Something's hurting. What is it? Find your perspective. Find your trigger. Find the emotion. Learn how to feel it. And you do that by recognizing what you're in is a self-preservation program. You're in an automatic defense mechanism. Doesn't matter what it is, just recognize it, stop and lie down and breathe. Breathe into that feeling. You're creating a gap between the event and your old reaction, so now you can program a new response. Well, you don't have to program it. Now you're conscious. You can train to come from your heart and better and better and better at communicating it. But you need that power pause. So when you're feeling stressed out by someone, your father, your partner, a job, anything, don't turn to food. Put your phone down. Close the laptop. Forget about your friends. If it's a sunny day, you can do this outside. It doesn't matter where you do it, you just stop. Now, some of the things we're talking about here are extremely painful. So I'm not expecting you to get it immediately. When my father triggered me, it's a video I still never actually uploaded because I was just about to finish it. He rapped on my door, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. It's almost happening here at the same time, that's quite crazy. And I exploded. I said earlier I thought I was healed. I had just traveled so far away from my old pain that I thought it didn't exist anymore. In that instant, the rage and pain that I felt was, I was 7 years old again, I was 14 years old again, I was 11 years old again. It all came flooding back. Tidal wave of that old angst. My fucking father. My brother helped me within 2 days to realize it was all mine. But he guided me for 3 hours at least once. With the trigger. With all this energy to attack outwardly. And my rage was strong. Probably still is. Started off with a body scan. And then he guided me with some amazing questions into my pain. You don't look, you ask, but you don't look, you don't search. Whilst lying in consciousness, deep inside the trigger, I couldn't believe what happened. And that was the day one of life changing for me on a radical scale. Many steps before, but this is the big stuff as far as I've seen. After some hours of constant conscious breathing and staying aware, I genuinely received an image from my subconscious mind. It was actually a little story. I didn't create this, but what I saw was me coming with a tray of drinks, offering them to my father, and him smashing all the drinks off the tray and me being disconsolate, devastated, destroyed. So my brother then asked me, is there a solution? And again, without looking, and honest truth, what happened? Went back inside. Well, I was still inside, but I had spoken for the first time in ages. And what came up was me bringing the tray of drinks, putting them on the side, and saying, if you would like a drink, they're there. Now, most of you with a functioning brain would understand what's going on there. I'm not attached to the outcome anymore. I'm not saying, if I do this, he will love me. And if he doesn't, I'm heartbroken. I'm saying, I offer you this and it's up to you what you do with it, and I'm not invested in the outcome. I can only offer. That was my first experience of awakening to my rage being all my perspective, all my disappointment, and all my expectations I had put on my father since I was a tiny baby. Awakening is transforming the behaviors that helped you survive as a child, but no longer serve you as an adult. I can happily say that my relationship with my father is healthy right now. It may not be on the emotional level I would want, but we have a healthy relationship because I do not ask of him what he cannot give, and vice versa. It's mutually respectful. He's at an age now where angst doesn't serve him. Relaxation, safety, love and care is what I want from my father. So it really helps that my shift in perspective helps remove all of these pressures from the relationship, and I go elsewhere to get my needs met. There is no correct age for awakening. There is no right time for anyone. It's just when it happens, you will know. Every argument you are having with anyone in your family is a moment to awaken for yourself, but do not expect them to understand your journey. My previous video is on unsupported people don't exist. No one's going to get it at first. But through your own transformation, through your own shifts in perspective, you will approach your parents in a way that they have never seen before. You can now bring the love you always wanted to them, because believe me, they always wanted it and they never knew. They were working themselves tirelessly to support you through your young life and young adult life, with probably never 2 seconds for themselves, for their own emotional needs. They're doing the best they can, and what we can do with the time we have is to be the love we always wanted and bring it to them. Because sooner or later, you're going to be caring for your parents. And I have a phrase that I love so much. It's, we learn to parent by parenting the parent. I don't have children at the moment, but I cared for my mother as she passed away. I became her mother, I became her father, as I cared for my mother in her last days, her last months. Supremely beautiful experience. And you realize how hard it is. And even at the beginning, when she could actually speak and move, still the hardest job in the world. So imagine caring for babies that you'd have no idea what they're saying. 3 of them. Well, some would be toddlers now, you follow. Let's take pressure off of our parents. Let's take the expectations off. But first, let's see how we are searching them out for old patterns that we're not aware that we even do. Start off with your disappointed feelings when you don't get what you want. Start off with your angry feelings when you think your mom or dad is pissing you off. It's all yours, it's all your perspective. And this is why I want to make this channel. It's to help you see it when it comes. All the little nuances, details, moments, opportunities to transform and raise the vibration. Because your healing is everyone's healing. Like I said, your transformation, your personal one, transforms not just your immediate circle around you, but your relationships with everyone you meet. I'm seeing it. And anyone that knew me before knew that I had quite a turbulent life before. People are opening up to me in new ways, trusting me in new ways. Compliments come my way that I would never expect. Surprises, gifts. But still lessons, still struggles, still journeys with this. I'm confident in what I have seen and what I have learned and my abilities to communicate, that this channel will be a source of down-to-earth, bite-sized advice without going too deep, but enough information to help you navigate what's going on in your life right now, communicated in a way that's digestible and usable every single day. If you want to go deeper, watch Teal Swan. I do. She's amazing. If you want to make it all into a blur, Alan Watts or Ram Dass. But to go that far so quick, I would say, is a spiritual bypass. There are journeys, there are steps, there's a way there to see yourself first. Don't jump into, well, do what you like, but I would not jump, and I am not jumping into this state of Zen bliss. I'm going through step-by-step awakening of bit by bit, every stage of my psyche and personality and program being brought up, looked at, analyzed, and is it serving me or not? And if it's not serving me, then watching it happening a few more times, and each time getting quicker and quicker at spotting it until you can create the power pause, the moment of stillness, where you are not reacting anymore to the event. You still feel it, you really feel it, it's horrible. That's the point. We're learning to feel the horrible emotions. So I've said it already in this video. When somebody close to you triggers you, stop. Own it, it's mine. Lie down, sit down. Feel it, just feel it. It's the first step. I'm not going to give you 1,000 techniques today. You can watch Healing the Emotional Body by Teal Swan if you want other ways of looking at things, a deeper perspective. That's basically what my brother did with me when my father triggered me all the way back in January 2017. I'm not here to be a spiritual teacher or guru. I'm a brother on the awakening journey that I know can help people because I've already helped hundreds. I've never charged a penny for what I do. Moments come, I see how a person is struggling, because when you see yourself, you see others in a totally different way. And by the time they leave, they have a gift that they didn't have before. And my work is done. I do this because it needs to be done, it must be done. The human psyche needs to evolve, our emotional intelligence needs to evolve, it needs to grow, our perspectives need to change. How we treat ourselves is how we treat others. How we talk to ourselves is how we talk to others. Learning to love ourselves through all our emotions, our positive and negative ones, our wanted and unwanted emotions, is the real self-love. The processes I'm explaining and describing to you, you will go through dark times. And through those dark times, you will learn how to love yourself in the unwanted emotion. You are learning it. No one's taught you. Through your experiences, you will then be able to love others through their darker emotions. Your relationships will be more balanced. You'll be able to hold space through other people's harder times. You'll be able to feel others. Your experience of life expands. It changes. You will have an identity crisis too. How you were before does not exist anymore. That was a coping strategy. That was an unintegrated version of you. Everything's happy, everything's this, everything's that. Or I'm so quiet, I've got nothing to say. Or fear of conflict. All these different coping strategies will leave you. Here comes the wind blowing it away. Timing. I love this place. So, that was a freestyle. I hope it reaches you. I hope you had the patience to make it to the end of the video, because this is all about flow. I don't need a script and I don't need to edit, because I've lived these experiences and I'm sharing with you from life. Now back to the boring stuff. If you'd like to subscribe or like this video or leave a comment, you help me. This is a fledgling channel. We are starting. So if you'd like to take 10 seconds to support the channel with a few clicks, please go ahead. I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks so much for watching.